Hi ladies, today is May 5th and we are on pages 10, 11, and 12 today in your packet. Um, we are looking at our learning target today. I can convert customary units of length. So we are actually going to be starting our new topic today, which is our measurement topic. And we are on week 5, day 2 in our packet. So on page 10, you're going to notice that you have this set of vocabulary cards, and then you also have a conversion sheet in front of you as well. So these pages are going to be very helpful for you today on especially page 11. And then you're also going to notice that instead of having that second page, I've included the daily review to kind of just give you a little bit of a mix-up and practice. All right, so today we're going to be talking about customary units of length. So this is the type of measurement that we use here in the US. So we are talking about inches, feet, yards, and miles today, and how to convert them. And again, this chart right here is going to be extremely helpful in solving some of these problems. So I would definitely recommend that you use this. Remember, if we start at inches, we want to follow that arrow. And if we're starting maybe at yards, going to inches, you want to make sure, again, you're following the arrow the correct direction because that's going to determine what operation you're doing. All right, so on page 11, we're going to look at numbers 1 through 8 together. So on number 1, it says, if you want to convert yards to feet, what operation would you use? So again, we want to look back at our chart, thinking about yards to feet. So if we're looking at yards, so we're starting here at yards and we're going to feet, we're going backwards. You want to make sure that you're following that arrow, and that's going to tell you what operation you are using. So if we're going from yards to feet, we want to make sure we are multiplying. So up in that spot on number 1, your answer is going to be multiplication. So then down on number 2, it says, what if you want to convert feet to miles? So again, we're going to look back at our chart and we're going from feet to miles. So again, you want to use that arrow to make sure you know what direction it is that you are moving. So from feet, following the arrow, it's showing us that we're using division. So on number 11, our answer is division. On number 3, it says, what are some tools you could select to measure length? So think about if you wanted to know how long something is, what are some different tools that you would use? So for instance, if I was thinking back to yesterday's lesson, if I wanted to measure an ear of corn or a corn on the cob, I would use those inches, which means that I would maybe use a ruler. And then also thinking kind of how long something is, we use those yardsticks. And remember, a yardstick is going to be what we use as our pointer for a morning meeting. And then also thinking about someone in construction, they might use a tape measure to measure the length of something. And a tape measure is going to be a really, really, really long ruler. So it measures a farther distance. All right, so then looking at number 4, we're going from feet to yard. All right, so looking at number 4, we're going from 9 feet to yards. So we want to start here at feet and acknowledge that we have 9 feet and that we want to go 2 yards. All right, so we're moving this direction, which means we want to use division, and we're dividing by 3. So we're only moving that one place. We're only going from feet to yards. So we take 9 divided by 3 and we get 3, which means that 9 feet is equal to 3 yards. All right, so then the next one, we have 8 feet and 7 inches. And we're going 2 inches. So what's important here is we already are in inches for 7. So when we figure out how many inches are in 8 feet, we're going to leave that 7 how it is, and we're going to add it in. So let's take a look at the next question. So we have 8 feet and it's going to inches. So feet to inches means we want to multiply. So we have 8 feet and we're moving 2 inches. We're going to take 12 times 8. All right, so think about those basic facts. 12 times 8 gives me 96. And then remember, we still have those 7 inches and we want to be in inches, and 7 is already in inches. So we're going to take 96 and we're going to add that 7 inches back in, which gives me a total of 103 inches. So a total of 103 inches. All right, so on number 6, we have 5.5 feet. So 5.5 feet to inches. So we're going from feet to inches. So 5.5, you can write this numerous different ways. All right, so we could think about a half as a decimal, which is 5 5/10, or we can write this as an improper fraction. So this would be 5 times 2 is 10 plus 1 is 11, which would be 11/2. So you can write it any way, but in order to multiply, we know we can't leave it in this form. So let's go ahead and we'll do it as a fraction. So we're going to do 11/2 times, and then we're going from feet to inches. So from feet to inches, we know we need to multiply by 12. So remember, if it's a whole number, we do 12/1. All right, so now we're going to multiply 11 times 12. And 11 times 12 is 132. So I'm going to just kind of erase some of these things, give myself a little more space. So we have 132. And then we have 2 times 1, which gives me 2. So now we need to divide. So I want you to use that standard algorithm, long division, to take 132 and divide that by 2. So go ahead and pause if you're not quite ready. 132 divided by 2 gives me 66, which means that 5.5 feet is the same as 66 inches. All right, looking at number 7. On number 7, we have 288 inches. 288 inches, we're starting in inches and we're going to yards. So we're actually going to be moving 2 times. And follow your arrow from inches to yards. We're going to be dividing. So the first thing that we want to do is we want to take 288 and we want to divide it by 12. And then whatever we get here, we have to do the next step and divide that by 3. So first things first, starting with 288, and we're going to divide that by 12. So go ahead, set that up. You want to use your long division. 12 will be on the outside, 288 will be on the inside. Make sure that if you're not quite ready, go ahead and pause. 288 divided by 12 gives me 24. And then we're going to take that 24 and we're going to divide it by 3. And we know that 24 divided by 3 gives us 8. So our answer here is 8 yards. So 288 inches divided by 12 gives me 24. 12 divided by 3 gives me 8. So 288 inches is the same as 8 yards. All right, so now let's look at number 8. This one is 219 inches. And we're going 2 feet. So on this one, it's going to look a little bit different because you have a little bit of leftover. So from inches to feet, we want to divide by 12. So on this one, you might not actually have anything, or you might have some leftover. So we want to make sure we're doing our long division. So we have 219, and we're dividing that by 12 because we're going from inches to feet. Sorry, that looks like a G. So we know 12 cannot go into 2, but it can go into 21 one time because 12 times 2 is 24. So this is 12. We're going to subtract. This becomes a 1. This becomes 11. 11 minus 2 is 9. And then we bring down our 9. So now we want to see how many times 12 can go into 99. And we know that 12 times 8 is 96. So this is going to be an 8. And then we'll put 96 here. And when we subtract, we get a remainder of 3. So what that means is you have 18 whole inches, or I'm sorry, 18 whole feet, but you have some leftover inches here. So that would be a 3. So another way to just list this as feet would be to turn this into a fraction. So instead of remainder 3 or 3 inches, this is going to be 3 over 12, which we know is the same as 1/4. So you could also list this as 18 whole feet and then 1/4 of a foot also left over. All right, so let's look at number 9, and we're going to go to that single page. So we know if we're going from feet to inches, feet to inches, we're going to be multiplying by 12. Inches to feet, we're going to be dividing by 12. Okay, so let's look at number 9 together. So what this means is we're going from feet to inches. So if we're going from feet to inches, we're going to multiply. So basically what we're doing here is we're taking 1 times 12. 1 times 12 we know is 12. So 1 whole ruler means 12 inches. So now again, we're multiplying by 12. 2 times 12 gives me 24. And then let's do this one down here, which is 12 times 4. 12 times 4 gives me 48. But if I don't have my feet and I have my inches, I need to go the opposite direction. So instead of multiplying, I'm going to divide. So we're going to divide by 12, which gives me 3. So again, I would recommend definitely using your conversion chart on page 10 to help you with this. You have question 10 through 19 that you need to finish. On numbers 17 through 19, you want to make sure that you are finding a common measurement. So thinking about if you have, we have feet here and we have yards here. So we want to kind of look at that and see how many yards that would equal. So you want to start with that bigger unit, and yards in this instance is the bigger. So we're going to go from yards and we're going to turn that into feet because this is the other measurement and we want to make sure that they're the same. So to go from yards to feet, we're going to multiply that by 3. And we know that 3 times 3 gives me 9. So that would only be 9 feet. So we want to show that 100 feet is bigger. So again, you want to start with the bigger unit. So in this instance, yards is a bigger unit. So we want to turn yards into inches. On this one, we want to turn these miles into feet. So you're going to be kind of comparing those different units on 17 through 19. On 11 through 16, it's going to be the exact same thing as we did on 4 through 8. Again, that second page, page 12, is just going to be that daily review. So you have a majority of just kind of that review material that we've been talking about throughout this entire school year. So this should just be kind of a quick review for you to challenge your brain. When you have finished, especially page 11, you're going to go to pearsonrealize.com and complete your assessment for today, which is 5-5-20, so May 5th, 2020, quick check. Make sure that that gets completed today for your assessment grade. You want to make sure that you're getting all those points. So please make sure that you have completed that assignment for today.